of all, I would like to remind you that coaching is an application of NLP skills, tools, and processes. To me, it's one of my most favorite courses to introduce because it gives you the opportunity to choose which tools specifically you're going to use and how specifically you're going to use them. When I first took my practitioner course, there was no taxonomy. I couldn't figure out what to use when and how to use it, and I started rewriting a few of the things, and much of that is now called new code. John and I worked with each other and said, these are my naive questions that I have. This is where it was part of your neurology to create this, except I am a naive person and I don't think that way. I'm finding that the tools that you have presented has afforded me a way of seeing the world differently, hearing, speaking, experiencing, and acting differently. And I fell in love with it, and I took it immediately into the corporations because at the time I was the CEO of a holding company. So I experimented and explored how to use the tools and the processes that I learned during my modules of practitioner course, which were 8 modules, a weekend, a month, for 8 months. So I had an opportunity then to go back and practice and use them. So I want you to play, I want you to investigate, I want you to explore, because that's how NLP came about. 2 crazy guys wandered around the world, actually California, asking the question, I wonder what would happen if. They had the as-if model. And when they heard something or saw something in the world that surprised them, they explored it, they experimented with it, they tested it, and they coded it. And now we are able to benefit from those experiences that they set down for us. What is the difference between a high performance state and a state, or just a change? Is there?
Yes.
John and I have been debating this back and forth for a long time. How high is high performance? And it depends upon how you define it for yourself. How do you define a high performance? There were a few things out like peak performance and that kind of thing years ago, or being in the zone. And I think some people think that state is defined for a different set of feelings and senses than what John is intending as a high performance state. Okay, so a high performance state is that state where you just are on auto and you can do whatever. Anytime you're focusing, doing something mundane as simple as doing your taxes, when you get that total focus, you're unaware of anything else that's going on around you, you are in a high performance state. doesn't mean at that moment that you could run a marathon. What I'm trying to make the distinction for you is that we go into different levels of zones, the zone. And it's characterized primarily by having a know-nothing state. It's characterized by not really knowing. You're in a state of not really knowing in that moment. You're just performing. And we go in these performance states frequently. We just have never realized or thought about coding them. And re-accessing them again. You just know that it felt good. You know that everything was clicking, right? You've had those days that everything is just going right. And then you've had those other days where you knocked over the glass of wine 3 times, or you've done all kinds of weird things. What I want you to be able to recognize is when you have the change of states and when you actually enter these states. And that a high performance state is not anything that is invented. You have them already. I want you to understand that. And I want you to be able to experience them. Just like all of the tools of NLP. NLP was not created or invented. It was coded. Everyone does the same things. These are not artificial processes. These are processes that are coded from human beings being human beings. The only thing that is special about it is that it was coded so that we know how to use it now. And that is the coding that is the key to this. It's noticing what every human does. Every human steps from first position, second position, third position, and back again. Naturally. You all do it. That is not something that has been manufactured or made up. It's a natural phenomenon. And my focus, as you can tell already, is going to be first and primarily on you. I have a very strong belief. It's not shared by John, perhaps. But my belief is that, that you must be able to apply these tools to yourself effectively before you can effectively apply them to other people. John does not believe this. So that's his opinion, and I have my opinion. So my focus is going to be working primarily with you first on creating with you a team within. So I'm going to be working on you with your team in first. I maintain that all of you have gotten here today because you have a really good team inside. You're all here. You're all alive. You've all been moderatively to excellently successful in your lives. You're eager to learn. You're alert. So what is that team? What is the team that's been functioning? And I maintain that that team is your unconscious, internal dialogue, your consultant. These are the constituents. And we're going to be working with developing each one of those. And everything that I'm going to be doing is going to be working on developing those for at least today and tomorrow. Then the last 3 days that I'll be working with you, you're going to be doing coaching with other people. But the first thing I want to do is to get your team together. And part of that is having that alliance with your unconscious and feeling those states where you are totally ready for anything.